So Meta just announced the Llama 4 herd. This is a set of new models that are variations of Llama 4. And the big deal about Llama 4, the thing that people are talking about, is the size of the context window. Why is that a big deal? What does that mean for the future of using AI, for the future of English learning? Well, first, what is the context window? This is basically how much the AI that you're talking to can keep in mind at one time when you make a request, when you give it a prompt. How much context it can see or hold in mind at one time. So if it can remember the last 20 messages back and forth, then it has the context to, when I give it another prompt, say something that makes sense and makes it feel like the conversation is flowing naturally. Now, as the context window grows, things get really interesting. New things become possible. So, what's the situation right now? Right now, you start new chats all the time. I mean, I have thousands and thousands of chats in my history, not just in ChatGPT, in Gemini, in Claude, thousands. And I know that there are chats that I will never see again. And you can search them, you can go back and find specific information. But it's not all in the context window of every new conversation. Absolutely not. Now, every time you start a new chat, now you need to give context, explain what's going on, what you're trying to do, what your goal is. Give a lot of detail. This is the style I like. This is the tone that I'm trying to capture. This is what I'm trying to achieve with this thing, this piece of this thing. It's kind of all modular, copy paste here and there, right? Missing the big picture. So, all right, that's how it is now. Not particularly convenient, right? A lot of copying and pasting, again, a lot of explaining things, prompting, right? And there are also a bunch of tools for a bunch of different things. You want to check your grammar, you could use ChatGPT, you could also use Grammarly. You want to improve this writing, you could use this tool or that tool. There are a bunch of different little AI tools that do a bunch of different things that you have to manage. So that's the situation now. How does this change as the context window grows? What are the implications of a near infinite context window? An AI model is not trained on you. It's trained on publicly available information, articles, books, synthetic data, but not you. But as the context window grows, it starts to feel like that. Why would I need to start new chats if everything that I've ever said in a conversation with this AI tool is in the context window? Imagine if every single chat that you've ever had with ChatGPT is in the context window. Then what is the point of the context window? It has all of that in mind as the context for this conversation that we're having right now, for this prompt that you provide. Not necessary. Why do you need to have an elaborate, complicated prompt with a lot of detail and instructions about what you're trying to achieve, carefully explaining your goals, when it has not just the context of the last 20 messages, but the context of everything that I've ever said to it? But beyond that, as the context window grows, why would it only be text that it can keep in mind? If it's a multimodal model, then it can consider things I've said, video, behavior, right? Things I've clicked on, decisions I've made, all the things that I do, basically. If I give it permission to be always on, let's say 24/7, assuming it's secure and private, then there's video, there's audio, there's text. there's movement, there's behavior, there's so much more information. And all of that is in the context window. Then the idea of explaining what I'm trying to do with this, my goal, is almost silly because it has everything that I've done for the last 6 months in mind. So why do I need to explain myself? It can probably intuitively figure out what I'm trying to do here based on previous interactions and how I've responded to things. It's learning what my preferences are, my tendencies, how I think, my objectives, and it's all in the context window. So no more elaborate prompt, instead a simple, hey, I was thinking about maybe trying this? Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. Right? Not needing to say that much in a prompt and not starting new chats and not copying and pasting things. And I think also the tools start to go away. Using a bunch of tools for this or that becomes almost silly when an agent can just sort of invoke any tool that it needs. So as agents become more capable, and they are becoming more capable, they will begin to work together, managed by this, let's call it this digital twin, that's kind of just with me all the time. And everything that I do and see and write is in the context window of this digital twin who's kind of like my companion, maybe like a friend, a close friend, my best friend. I don't know. And it's managing how many agents? One, two, 100, 1,000, a million? Doing things on my behalf. Instead of using some tool like a flashcard app to create flashcards for me to review to improve my English, it just decides to quickly build a flashcard app and show me that when I need it and then doesn't use it again. Tools are just invoked out of thin air when they're needed and then tossed away. This happened for real for me when I was testing out Manus AI. Check out that video. It was totally surprising. I was trying to use the Anki website. I couldn't get in for security reasons because it knew I was using an agent. And so Manus just said, you know what? I'm just going to build a flashcard app. And it did that. And it worked. It was totally functional for what I needed to do in that moment. So I see this digital twin who has the full context of our lives and goals and inclinations and maybe interests in mind at every moment, managing this massive swarm of agents doing things on our behalf, our job, working on personal projects that we may want to explore in 3 months, anything you can possibly imagine. This swarm of agents managed by our digital twin, who's checking in with us once in a while to make sure things are staying on track. This is a very different, very strange future. Scary, maybe. I don't know. It's definitely interesting. And as this future gets closer, we'll have to ask ourselves questions like who's in charge? How much stuff do I want to do even though I don't have to do it? Maybe what kind of permissions do I need to give to do things on my behalf, right? Do I need to have a job? And if so, who's really doing the job? And if it's not me, how am I being paid for that job? All of these kinds of really interesting questions start to come up as this future, which I think at this point is inevitable, gets closer. And the context window, which is now, getting larger, is still not there. The context window is a piece of that. Let me know what you think. Is this a scary possibility? Do you disagree that this is a possibility? What do you think this means for the future of being a person? And will you be on the side of using AI for as much as possible? Or do you think that maybe there's a point where you say, no, I'm not going to let it observe me 24/7? That's a little scary. What do you think? If you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, get a free course in the links in the description. Also, check out the 90-day program. Speaking of AI twins, I've really tried to do my best to create the best possible, most affordable way to improve your English, to stay accountable. You complete lessons and then you get assignments in your email automatically that then you share with my AI assistants. I have a bunch of them who know the assignment and know how to give feedback. They give feedback. You also chat with them. You have live conversations with them. You also check in with me for accountability. If you have questions on WhatsApp. And at the end of this 90-day program, if you're not happy with your progress, you can get a full refund after 90 days, after you complete the program. You're not going to see that kind of offer anywhere. That's a pretty crazy offer. And I only make the offer because I'm very confident that it's an amazing value and that if you actually do it, you will improve a lot. So check that out. That's in the links in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.